Gotta stay running, 10 toes, both feet. I age real slowly, thankful to my holy. I've been here a little while, got little wits on me. You ain't convinced, homie, watch your lip, homie. I done been dead lonely, now I got checks on me. Why you gotta check?
Yo, welcome to SoulGood Talkin. I'm Ronald Parker, your host, and this is my guy, my brother, my friend, the guru of finance. Listen, Tony Guy, man, what's going on?
Ronald, man, it's always an honor.
Hey,
And
man.
a pleasure to be with you, brother.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes,
So,
sir.
man, we're going to really get into talking about insurance, wills, and, man, what we need to do as a community, man, to get on board, to get some education and knowledge about these things versus, we see lately we have a lot of GoFundMe accounts happening because people not having insurance and the loved ones have passed away and they're just in frantic what to do. And so, man, we want to try to get some tips on, man, so we won't get caught in that situation, man. So, man, give us a little background about yourself.
Well, born and raised in Macon, Georgia.
That's right.
We're from the same high school.
That's right. That's right.
Couple of years ahead of you.
That's
And,
right.
So I'm a product of Bibb County Public Schools. Both my parents were teachers in Bibb County, and it's kind of forged me to be a teacher, kind of by nature.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around teachers my whole life, so a lot of that is just rubbed off on me. And so here I am today as a financial educator and an advocate for financial literacy, and it's become a very strong passion of mine.
Right.
And because it impacts so many aspects of our life,
Absolutely.
if not every aspect.
Absolutely.
I mean, we could argue the case that it impacts to some extent every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, man. Even the word said money answers all things.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if we really think about it, like pray about it, even
Right.
ask God, well, what does this really mean?
True.
Yeah. Because it
Yeah.
really does say it like exactly in those words.
Right. It does. But, man, so let's get into it, man. What about this life insurance? What is life insurance?
That's a good place to start, because as you were mentioning, this I will say this pandemic of the GoFundMe explosion.
That's a great way to put it. Pandemic of it. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Pandemic of GoFundMe. You know what? We need to check GoFundMe stocks. I bet they're doing pretty good.
It probably is.
I bet they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Because so many people have unconsciously and consciously chosen that as their means to fund funerals and end-of-life expenses.
Right. And there was nothing wrong with GoFundMe, of course. Nothing wrong with it itself, but just to depend on it for,
Right.
These cases for, life insurance and stuff like that.
It really speaks to, what my and our mission is around this whole thing about financial literacy. And then the opposite of that is financial illiteracy. Quite frankly, and I'm not here to offend anybody, I'm gonna speak pretty straight though. When you see, if you get a text or a DM from somebody regarding a GoFundMe account for someone who's passed away, that is one of the clearest signs that that family has a high level of financial, I'm not going to say illiteracy, because I don't think that resonates with most of us, but ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Is financial ignorance. A certain level of financial ignorance to not think and act on this idea of getting life insurance, or even to educate oneself about it. So again, when we find ourselves in this situation where, oh my goodness, we got to get some money for our family, I'm not saying that's ignorant. I mean, that's just what you do.
Right.
You know, it's a situation, you address it.
Right.
But all of the days and months and the years ahead of that, you mean no one in that immediate family felt inclined to start a life insurance policy for, if nothing else, but to pay for a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
If for nothing else, to pay for a funeral, maybe it did cross their mind.
I know why I say it may have crossed their mind, but then it gets to be, okay, that's another bill.
Right.
And that's really how they look at it. Like, that's another bill. That's something else I got to pay.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it's looked upon as another bill, and it is a life insurance premium, and we're specifically talking about final expense, actually, right now. We're not even just dealing with the whole thing of life insurance, right? Okay. We're not even dealing with all of what you can do,
right,
and what life insurance is in its totality.
Right.
We're addressing the pandemic of the GoFundMe. And there are some other companies that kind of have a similar GoFundMe. And you know what, everybody knows about that company. So yeah, they're getting some promotion just because we're talking about it. But there are other companies now.
Right, true.
You know, just like, you know, Uber started, and you had all these other companies that do the same thing. It's like that. It's a whole lot of those companies now. Right. And you'll hear a lot about them on Facebook or something like that tomorrow, probably. Because people dying every day.
True.
But the thing that we were saying about the looking at the premium, the premium is actually what you would say your payment.
Right.
But it's called a premium for a reason. Okay? Let's think about that term, premium. That speaks to value just in the term itself.
Okay. Because
it's not a payment. You're not paying a loan. Right?
Like you're gonna pay it off. Well, somewhere you can once you pay it for a while.
But that's assuming that you are going to get a policy loan. Right now, we're just talking about the premium itself.
Gotcha.
Just the premium itself. So, I mean, think about it. When you pay your car loan, you don't say, I'm going to pay my premium.
No.
I'm just going to pay the car loan. You know, when you pay your mortgage, you don't say my premium.
Right.
I'm going to pay my mortgage. Right. So just a thought. Yeah. Look up the word premium.
Yeah.
Just what it means in general, even as a noun.
Right.
Okay. It's pretty cool word. But anyway, if one looks at paying the premium as another bill, there is no way possible that they can understand what life insurance actually is from a financial standpoint. And it's important for us to realize that life insurance always and is now and forever will be a financial product. It's a financial. It is a part of financial things. It's not just, it's just life insurance. It's about financial protection. And in this narrow sense of what we're talking about an event, a death that's either unexpected or expected. Because some deaths are expected. Now, we all do expect to die one day. So actually, death is not really unexpected. But when you die, could be unexpected. Some people, it's expected. I'm just saying. But when that event happens, there also comes along with it a financial burden.
Right.
In the form of funeral costs. And who doesn't want to have a nice sending away for their loved one, right? These things cost money. I mean, it's not an extreme amount of money, but it may be money that you just don't have at the time.
And some people, not to be to cut you off, but some people just not really, okay, well, I don't want to have no big funeral or nothing like that for them. So I ain't used to be getting no life insurance, but at the same time, to even get them cremated, we got to pay something.
Yes. Have either of you looked that up lately? What the average cremation cost for cremation is?
The last time I looked it up, which was a few years ago, was around $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay, so you got it. Okay, so $4,000 or $5,000. Now, do you know that close to half of Americans right now, of all nationalities, do not have enough money to take care of a $400 to $500 emergency? Now we just talking about an emergency, like your wash machine goes out.
Right.
Now that would be an emergency for me.
Right.
Now, some people they be like, oh well, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, but or your car breaks down. Shout out to my people who own cars. Right? That, I mean, you got to get to work. You pick up your kids. It will be an emergency, right? Or pipe bust in the house. So obviously you should have some home insurance. But anyway, you get the gist of what I'm saying. $400 to $500. Over half of the American people don't have enough money to just take care of that.
So let alone $4,000 or $5,000.
Correct.
To do that.
So can we agree that we're going to pass away at some point in time? Right. There used to be a statement. They say there's only two things that's guaranteed: is death and taxes. Mm-hmm. That was a cool saying. Mm-hmm. Death for sure. Mm-hmm. Taxes, not so much, because you know there are things you can do to minimize your taxes. You know, so death is for sure.
Yeah. But what do I say to the person that you know, a lot of times in our community, we're already struggling to make ends meet. And life insurance is just not a priority. Right. Eating to ball is a priority. Paying the light bill, having a roof over my head is the priority. What do you say to them? And I know, you know, it should be self-explanatory, but sometimes we need to hear it. What do you say to them, the importance of getting some sort of life insurance?
Well, I'll say this. It's probably not self-explanatory until it happens.
True. I agree with that.
You know, I mean, as a child, I went to funerals. I mean, I didn't even overhear any conversation about how much it cost.
True.
You know, all I know is I'm sad or not. I'm a kid, so some of the people I didn't even know. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just ready to eat. You know, I'm waiting for the repast. Right. So you can pass me some chicken. Right. I'm just saying.
And even that cost.
But I'm a kid, so I ain't thinking about any of that. Like how anything costs. Like, wow, there's a lot of food in here. Mm-hmm. Who paid for this? Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking about that.
You just think about where's my plate?
Where's my plate? You know? And so what would I say to a person? Wow. Me personally, I like to connect with people. I just don't think there's anything to just say to a person without getting permission from them to share some information.
And I really you know, I'm saying, like, you know, you being a person of insurance, the person who, you know, sells insurance, and how would you encourage them to, like, this is important?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't just trying to sell you a policy. I just want to let you know that this is important. So kind of we run through the things like, you know, you don't want to embarrass you. And sometimes people are embarrassed, but sometimes you don't want to be an embarrassment to your loved one. You got to keep them out, you know, a month just to kind of raise the money, just to kind of bury it. Yeah. You know, I've seen that happen. I've been a part of trying to raise money. And I just really want to help us out with trying to get something and let them know the importance of getting something in place. And I know we even talk about different aspects of life insurance, like whole life insurance and term life insurance. And from my knowledge, I think term life is easier to get than whole life, or cheaper to get in most cases than whole life. But I just want to be able to get them and get them to understand to be able to get something.
Well, Ronald, what we're doing right now is a major way to do it, because there are people who are subscribed to your channel who just rock with you,
right?
You know, and they're tuning in and they're not thinking about any life insurance, but they're listening right now,
right?
In their home or in their car or at the park, you know, and they're just kind of relaxed and they're listening now. This is hopefully long before they're faced with another death in their family. So this is a part of the process. I think right now we're building community through one high level conversation at a time, and that should happen more and more in our households. I think maybe every family has one person that's more into this type of thing than the others. If you're that person, I invite you to level up your financial education yourself, so that as you're having the conversation, you could maybe provide some resources. You could provide some references, as opposed to just preaching to your family members about what they should do. And, you know, people's eyes are glazing over like, oh, here come Uncle Johnny again with all this life insurance stuff. And then how many of us have, in the course of our lives, have been approached by a family member or friend who just got their life insurance license, hot off the press. And they're just so excited to tell you about some life insurance. You already know they're trying to sell you some life insurance. So if you already have an aversion to that, it will probably, the wall will go up even higher, and you may not even be able to really respect the friend or the neighbor or the person you know that has a life insurance license. You're focusing on, they just trying to sell me some life insurance. And they just might be. So I have to say, I never really talk about me as a person that I sell life insurance.
Right, gotcha.
I have a life insurance and health insurance license to represent life insurance companies to the community. Right? This is like if somebody was a layman and they to talk about life insurance. Or, well, let's say they talk to you about law, but they couldn't really help you with the stuff. They would have to send you to somebody who has the license. Now, unfortunately, many life insurance agents it's almost like life insurance agent used car sales in our communities. Because many life insurance agents might act like no shade to used car salesman, but you know, just that stereotypical thing, actually, you know, of the used car salesman. The life insurance agents have kind of got a little bit of that on it, a lot because of how many of us has operated. I think life insurance is so important that if you're a person that just needs money so bad, I will hope that you don't get a life insurance license to, just kind of run game on people,
Gotcha.
right? To get that money,
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Our community deserves more from life insurance agents that come to us than just seeing dollar signs.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fact that because life insurance companies, if you notice, think about it, how often do you see an advertisement from a life insurance company?
Kind of often now.
Really? Name one.
Colonial.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Name another one.
It's probably the main one I see dealing with trying to get elderly to get some sort of insurance.
This is a fairly recent phenomenon. Okay. This is a fairly recent phenomenon, but really, though the life insurance companies pay life agents really good because the life agent can do something that the company can't do. So even with the ad on television, you still have to talk to an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Gotcha. So I know we have limited time, but you still have to talk to a person. Life insurance is one of the few professions left where even with online stuff, you still have to have somebody that has a state approved license, even if they're on the other side of an online portal, right? It's a really powerful license.
So what is term like?
So term is another word for temporary.
Mm.
Aha. Yeah, it's temporary. So because it has a beginning and it has an end.
Wow.
I mean, it's just that simple, brothers and sisters.
But it is the most inexpensive one that you can get.
So expense and inexpense always is relative.
Okay.
They say you get what you pay for.
True.
So because life insurance is a death benefit, it's a death benefit. And when you have a term policy, it's a death benefit that has a start date and an end date. Do you know that less than 3% of term policies ever have to pay a death benefit?
Man, that's crazy.
So of course, it's the least expensive to get,
right?
Because the company knows that the likelihood of having to pay, whether it's $1 million, there's people who have $1 million term life insurance policy. They're like, but if we do, we got it.
True.
Now, the other thing though, when a life insurance company issues a policy, whether it's term or the other type, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, the life insurance company actually has that money right then and there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like they're like, not against the bank, but it's not like the bank, using your money to lend it to.
Right.
It's not like that. They actually have the money. It's there. That's because life insurance is a contract. It's there. Life insurance are the most powerful financial institutions in the world. Okay? So term is another name, another word for temporary. Then whole is another word for permanent.
Makes sense.
Permanent. Because we're talking about for the whole of your life. Now, inside of term and perm, temporary and permanent, there are different types of permanent policies. You know, like the high cash value, like the index universal life, variable universal life, flexible premium. I mean, there's just so many different types. With term, you know, it's pretty much cut and dry. You know, you pay for a death benefit. Actually, term insurance would be the purest form of life insurance because you're paying for a death benefit, and that's it. And do you know when the best time to have a term policy, when it's the least expensive? The best time and when it's the least expensive to have a term life insurance policy.
Probably what, the younger you are?
The day that you open it up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because if your premium is $10, $25, $35, and let's say you have $250,000 death benefit, that means you put in. They're not put in because the term you ain't putting nothing in. You are paying. You're paying your premium, $50 or whatever, and you're getting $100,000, $150,000. I mean, that's pretty good. It's like, well, look at the exchange, $75 for $250,000. Day two, it becomes now. Well, month two, let's say if it's $75, month two, now you have paid $150. Still the same.
True.
And I'm just throwing out random $250,000, whatever it is, right? The next month, right? $225. So you see, it gets more. I mean, before you know it, you would have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You will still have that death benefit of varying amounts, and you're getting ever so closer to the end of that term, right? And you don't die. When that happens, you can renew the term, but guess what? It's going to be based on your age at the time and your health at the time. So this is why people see these low premiums that they have just balloon when they renew it as a later age.
Right.
And so now you're getting another term, which again is temporary. Right. The other side of that is the permanent, which has benefits for your life, for your now life, your actual life as you're living outside of just a pure death benefit. Okay. And that ranges from the ability to grow cash value in a tax-free environment, the ability to have long-term care inside of that, where you're able to take care of yourself when you need some assistance, also the fact that your money can grow, right? Tax-free. You can fund the things of your life, like buy a car, or down payment on a home, or pay for your children's college education. So many things. Pay for your own education.
Right.
And then at the end, you can also leave your family a relatively handsome legacy of your choosing.
Right.
But what I will say before we go is that the study of life insurance is, to me, is like a study of love in action
I like
that lives beyond yourself.
I like that. Say that again, bro.
So the study of life insurance, the learning of life insurance is about learning and studying love in action
Mm-hmm.
in the now that benefits your family, your loved ones long before you're gone. I know I switched it up a different way.
So good.
So like what we're doing right here, the fact that you invited me to be a part of this was an act of love in and of itself.
Gotcha.
Because you love your family, you love your community, you just love people. That's what we all know about this brother.
That's true.
You just love people, right? And you like, so let's have this conversation. But if you're out there thinking like, man, I should have done this and should have done that, it's not all your fault, because we really weren't taught much at all about what life insurance really is. We may have been preached to about it, but just think about how much of the things that you were preached to that you've actually done on a high level at this point. I mean, maybe you did at some point, but once it became your own thought, then you began to operate within it. But I want to remind you guys that life insurance is a part of a whole subject matter, which is called financial literacy. And we all know that we weren't taught this stuff in school. So if life insurance is a part of financial literacy, okay, we weren't taught financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us don't even see life insurance as a subject that could possibly even be a part of financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're financially literate by and large. We're life insurance illiterate by and large as a result of being financially illiterate, not the other way around. Because if all we do is just simply focus on life insurance for final expense, and that's it, we're essentially leaving a whole lot of other benefits and money for your family and your legacy on the table.
Which is true. Well, but I think that most of us in our community ain't looking at. They don't look at it like that, which they need to, because again, it's very beneficial to not only the living, saying, for as you with it, but even your children and all that later on. But we need to know that in order to bury your loved ones and not have that burden of asking somebody, borrowing somebody, hoping you be able to get it done, leaving your loved one out months, just think of that, or halfway doing anything, cutting a lot of things out that you need to do. You just can't do it because you ain't got the finances to do it. What can they, like, I know you mentioned whole life insurance. You remember term life insurance, which is temporary. Whole life insurance, which is permanent. That's a real clear-cut way to put it. But do we do recommend them getting something?
Yes.
In place.
And Brother Ronald, there is a place for term. So I'm just kind of giving the definition here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
But there is a place. There's no such thing as term being the solution for all of your life insurance needs,
Right.
or even whole for that matter. Sometimes it just makes sense to be a combination of the two.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So there's a thing what we call in the financial world having proper protection. In fact, it's one of the 7 money milestones that we teach from the book How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker.
Mm-hmm.
It's milestone number 2 after financial education. The second one is proper protection. And proper protection is another name for life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are we protecting? We're protecting income. That's what you're protecting.
That's right.
I mean, life insurance, it's not like car insurance. Car gets hit and you fix the car and people and all of that. Well, think about it. Life is life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to replace life.
True.
It's called life insurance because it's actually for the living,
Mm-hmm.
right? It can impact the things of life, and it replaces the income that otherwise was earned and utilized by the deceased person who now is no longer there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That income earner is gone. That income is gone. What are you going to do, family? Daddy dies. He's the breadwinner. What you going to do? What you going to do? Mama dies. Even if she's a stay-at-home mom, can you really quantify in dollars her value? I mean, you actually probably could in a way. It would be millions of dollars for fact. Shout out to you moms out there. It would be millions of dollars.
So you said that. So like if I'm a person who's, okay, I see it's important. I'm going to get some term life. Right?
Yeah.
How much do you think I should get if I'm just starting out? Do I just get enough to, I think they now have just, enough for funeral services, which I think on average is about $10,000 to $15,000, I think. Is that all I need to get? Just enough to just secure that, because I'm poor and I ain't got no money to be, I'm just going to get enough just to have.
Yeah.
And then on the second question is, if I have a loved one, and this is kind of what I've seen, if I have a loved one with an illness or terminal, like, diabetes, for the other things that they have, I notice a lot of insurance companies don't want to touch that, don't want to give you insurance on that. So is that true, or is that just kind of what I'm hearing, and is that like a myth?
So the first part is, do what you can do comfortably. You should not be struggling to pay your life insurance premium. Because what will happen is, when life is life, when life be lifing,
mm-hmm.
the life insurance policy, a lot of times, will be the first
to go.
Yeah. Shout out to you life insurance agents who have had those chargebacks. And you also, that cousin that you are helping out that got some money from you starting that policy, and then you had an emergency in your life, and you let the policy go, guess what? They got to pay that money back. Up to a year. It's interesting.
Really?
So it's a lot here. It's a lot involved in this.
Okay.
We need more ethical, more responsible life agents. And then our people need more and more real education. Okay. And that can just come from having these type of discussions.
Right. So
get what you can comfortably take care of on a monthly basis. Just start there. There is a rule of thumb that you would have 10 times your annual income.
Gotcha.
That's just like a rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
If we just didn't even want to calculate anything, we say, hey, 10 times your annual income.
Right.
So that means if you're contributing to a household, your income's gone. That income will continue to feed that household
For at least 10 years.
ideally, because obviously if you're getting a lump sum, somebody's going to Vegas.
Right.
But so here again, this is why we all need financial literacy.
Right.
Like all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because our family members who we are leaving, XYZ dollars, they need to have strong financial sense.
True.
Financial common sense.
True.
Which can only happen with a thorough financial education.
True.
Okay. Knowing about money is not common sense. So anybody out there who's told your family members about money and say it's just common sense, stop. Because it's not. You gotta learn about money. Mm-hmm. And the common sense around money then kicks in. Common sense is common sense, but you have to have the correct information about the thing, whatever the thing is. Mm-hmm. So, a final expense policies are those policies designed to cover the final expense.
Right. So now is that the same as term?
No.
There's a difference.
It is a difference.
Okay.
A final expense policy is a permanent policy. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, I've been getting the phone calls all the time about trying to sell me, final expense policy.
Yeah, it would be a permanent policy.
Okay.
And they do build some cash value.
Ooh. Okay.
Not a lot, but it's like if you were thinking about in terms of I don't want to just throw my money away. Well, you're not. You're paying for the death benefit and it's building some cash value. So if you think of life insurance, the death benefit is like the value of the home. Okay. So you have a property that has a $300,000 value. Mm-hmm. You have a mortgage. As you pay your mortgage, you're building up equity.
Right.
Right. So think of your life insurance policy. If you have a final expense, it's like a small house.
Right.
Because the final expenses, you said cremation, $5,000. But then you would have cremation plus baked chicken, right? Whatever, $7,000, $8,000.
Right.
Nice funeral, $12,000, $15,000, whatever, right? That's still a small house.
Gotcha.
Compared to a $500,000 permanent policy.
Gotcha.
That's a much bigger house.
Right.
A $500,000 term. Ooh, this is good, Ronald. If I say so myself, I haven't said it yet. A $500,000 term is like renting. Mm-hmm. You're renting a $500,000 home. Mm-hmm. You're never gonna build an equity though, because you're renting. And as long as you pay the thing, mm-hmm. you have the $500,000 apartment.
Right.
So would you rather have a $500,000 value apartment that somebody else owns, or a $500,000 home that you own and you can leverage all the benefits of ownership? Mm-hmm. Because you are building equity and because your name is on certain legal documents pertaining to that property. Mm-hmm. But you start, we talk about amongst my colleagues this idea of beginning with the end in mind. Mm-hmm. So if you think about ideally, unless you leave your family with a whole bunch of debt and stuff, mm-hmm. the final expense would be the final expense. Mm-hmm. But we know a lot of times it's not. You bury a family member, but then you have all this other stuff out here that now falls on the family that's left.
Mhm.
Okay. But either way, begin with the end in mind. Just go ahead and take care of that final expense.
So get some final expenses.
Get some final expense insurance.
Okay.
It don't matter who you are.
Okay.
It doesn't, even if you have larger life insurance policies,
Still get
you
that.
still get a final expense because those policies are designed to pay fast
Right.
because the funeral home and the church or whatever, they want their money right away.
now. Yeah.
Right away. So the bigger money might come a few weeks later.
Gotcha.
So we call it like your bridge money. You know, we have a wonderful funeral concierge service. Okay, did I say that right? Concierge.
I don't know.
Service. You know, and it's all the things of final expense plus so much more.
Mhm.
And you know, I don't want to turn into those life insurance commercial, but we have that. You know, I can help you with some term. It's easy. It's super easy,
Mhm.
and it's very affordable for practically everyone.
Mhm.
Get that done. We can help you with it. Just get it done. Get it done now. Why do you want to get it done now versus 10 years from now? Because it's still going to be based on your age. You're never going to be younger than you are right now.
True.
And most of us are not going to be any healthier than we are right now. But some of us improve our health, but let's just face it, most people's health is just declining.
Mhm.
Just because that's just how we live.
Mhm.
So get your rate locked in now and start building it so that when you pass, you can get final expense on your wife, your spouse, perhaps your children, or anybody you have insurable interest on.
Okay.
And just go ahead and just knock that out. Just set it and forget it.
Now, can you get though, like I say, if my parent or uncle or whoever is terminally ill, can I get anything for them?
So there are some policies that ask absolutely zero health questions.
Gotcha.
Okay. The limitation is how much you can get,
Mhm.
but they do exist.
Okay.
They do exist.
So all hope is not lost.
All hope is not lost.
Okay.
However, I'm gonna say however, hope is not lost. However, you better have a whole lot of hope. No, hope is not lost. But oftentimes those policies have, however, you hilarious, man. Is that they do have a 2-year return of premium period. So in other words, they say, okay, we're not going to ask you any health questions. Your health might be hanging on a string. We don't even want to know.
Gotcha.
But we're going to need you to live at least 2
2
years
years. Gotcha.
for you to get the death benefit.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you'll just get the return of the premium
That you did.
So it's still fair. You know, it's a way, if you're in that situation or you pay, it's a way of just putting money away, like in a dedicated sense, not just a savings account. Because a savings account, you have access to do whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to do this, and you go to your savings account.
Right.
But if you get one of those for somebody who's really sick and ill, who couldn't qualify
Mhm.
for anything else, well, at least you'll have, if they pass within the 2 years, you're going to get the premiums you put in
Mhm.
back for that.
Yeah.
So it's fair. But if they live 2 years, I have a friend whose mother lived like several years beyond the time that she was, the doctors just tell you,
Right.
don't die tomorrow, whatever. But, and then she lived 7 years,
Mhm.
And so it happens all the time.
Mhm.
Happens all the time. And it's fair. There's just so much that for us to learn. And learning is not learning is not just information. So there's this idea that the more information I have, the more I know. The more you have more information, so therefore you know more. I mean, what do you know?
Right.
You have information. That's all.
Right.
You just have information. You know, a donkey with a book on his head is still a donkey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying. Shout out to my donkeys out there.
Man, come on.
Information is overrated.
Right.
You must take information, correct information. That's the other thing. Correct information. And then understand that correct information. And then act on that information. Right. Knowledge ensues at that point.
Gotcha.
The writer of the material could be very knowledgeable, and they usually are. They have knowledge. They have experience. They had information, they understood it, they took action, and they said, you know what, I'm going to write a book about what I know. And how did you know that, sir and ma'am? Because this is how I live. This is what I've done. Right. And now I'm sharing it with you. Right. The average person reads a book and they overestimate their actual ability to act on the information. Because oftentimes they don't take enough time to really make sure they understand the thing. You know how they say sometimes a little bit of information is just enough to kill, you know, you have just enough information to kill yourself. Well, a lot of us are like that, unfortunately, because maybe we just have never really understood what learning really is. And sometime in our society, we get celebrated for having a lot of information. Sure. Which is not good for our community, right? Because we have people who have a lot of information and they're just not good people and they're really not that capable. Okay?
And it's crazy you said that. It's like, because you have a lot of people who talk about even wheels, but like, do they really know about how a wheel works and why do you need it? And all that. So that's my question to you. You know.
Well, think of two of our most iconic artists, music artists, right? Who had no wheel. Prince.
Right.
Prince.
I got you.
I mean, I love Prince.
Right.
And I think Prince is one of the most intelligent human beings on the planet. Just you ever listen to him talk? Like he's Prince.
I got you.
You know, I mean, we know what he did,
right?
And how he represented his person with the music industry and all of that. I mean, you think he has all that legal? He had a lot of legal knowledge. So. Sometimes I just want to believe that maybe he just didn't do it on purpose to prove some kind of point to somebody, but we'll never know. Or maybe we will. We'll find some document he wrote somewhere. But the bottom line is he didn't have it. He didn't have an estate plan in place. Aretha Franklin. Respect. RESPECT.
Right.
But she didn't have no WILL.
Wow. No will.
And that's not even the end all be all of estate planning. That's like just a basic thing that states your desire for your estate. That's it. I want my son to get this. I want my daughter to get this. I want my cousin to get this. I want my dog to have this.
So if I got life insurance, I got my beneficiaries, is my will necessary then? Do I need a will?
Yes. So it is a part of estate planning because your wishes, so you have life insurance, it has a death benefit, but that death benefit doesn't have a direction.
Gotcha.
It has a person's name attached to it, but it doesn't have any direction.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you need both.
Yes, you definitely need both.
Okay.
And then along with that's a part of the state, an estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
You're stating your desires for your estate, your property, your belongings, your family heirloom, and then there are other pieces to that. There's other kind of documents you need, like a healthcare directive and things like that, power of attorney, and all of that. But there's you hear people talk about a trust,
right?
So I'm just gonna tell you now. I'm not gonna go deep into that. I'm not an attorney, but I'm very much aware of it. I understand it very much. So a will. So you've heard of probate?
I have.
Mm-hmm. So if you have a will, your estate's still gonna be subject to probate.
Right. Now what is probate though? I heard of it.
Went
through it.
I want to give the legal definition.
Just give me your definition.
Well, you have it's probate court. It's just we have a probate court, and it just deals with it deals with the death. It deals with the stuff. It deals with the property. It deals with. I don't exactly know what the word probate means.
That's I'm just saying like the overall.
You have it. You have it.
The official proving of a will, establishing the validity.
There you
go. Gotcha.
There you go. As I'm not an attorney, but so that's wait. Say that again.
It's the official proving of a will, establishing the validity of a will.
So probate court checks it out.
Right.
Right. And then you have money that's connected to fees and taxes and things like that. Mm-hmm. Now, when you have certain type of trust, which we have a partner attorney that we work with who does these things for our clients. So if anybody out there is looking for something to learn more about that, we can help you. But certain trust actually bypass probate.
Mm.
And in some states, in a lot of states, if not most states, the death benefit from a life insurance also bypasses probate. Like it's just not a part of that. And you can also make the trust the beneficiary for the money.
Oh yeah, that's deep.
And it is deep.
Yeah.
But my people,
those are things
we are attracted to the deep things.
Right.
It's so interesting. Mm-hmm. We're attracted to the deep things. The basic stuff, we don't want to learn anything about it.
Right.
It's just like the brothers that all they want to do is dunk, but they don't know how to play good basketball.
Gotcha.
You're not gonna go far just focusing on dunking.
Right. You need
okay.
Fundamentals.
So this is all financial literacy education.
Right.
That's really what I am as a financial educator.
Right.
I just so happen to have a life insurance license and some other licenses, but in my team, we have all the licenses you could need to actually help you do the things according to your desires, according to your hopes, dreams, and goals. But today, we're narrowing our focus to not even just life insurance, but the final expense, because that's just, we got to stop all of this sending the link and help cousin Ronald stuff.
Yeah, true.
We just got to stop it, guys.
True.
It's not cool. It's not even cool. Like, just from a standpoint of, it's just not even cool.
And it's not easy, you know what I'm saying? I feel them, you know what I'm saying? I feel you not having, or feeling like...
Well, I don't. I don't feel that at all.
I feel them, but at the same time, you got to still know that it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have, like, you can feel like, okay, man, I don't really want to pay this rent, but you know it's a necessity that you got to have. You finna have
now, how do you know? This is good. Sometimes we have to slow down our own thinking.
True.
How do we know that we got to do this?
Because you know you got to do that because you know if you don't do it, the consequences of it.
There you go. So the thing about the life insurance, we don't see an immediate consequence. I mean, it's like, I can get it next week.
Right. You don't know that.
If I start the policy, I can stop it. I can talk to another agent next because I don't want to talk to Tony because I was huffing and puffing. Told me I make all the decisions in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get this policy for my family.
Right.
Yeah.
I got
And
you.
then the car needs 4 tires.
Yeah.
And then now you don't even want to see me in the grocery store.
Right.
Hey, dude, it's okay. It's all good.
Right.
Right? Yeah. The consequence is not immediate. But if we look at life insurance, and I know it requires education. So I'm not here saying if you don't look at it this way, something's wrong with you. I understand why we don't look at it from a financial standpoint.
Right.
Even financial expense is financial. Right? Grief, as you just recently had an episode about grief.
Absolutely.
No amount of money can remove or eliminate or substitute your grief. So you're going to go through that. But do you want to go through that on top of having to pass a plate around to come up with $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000, $8,000 to bury someone when you can take a few dollars, and I mean a few, $25, $30, $40, or what in that range, a month, and go ahead and knock out the final expense for yourself, your spouse, and maybe a few other people. In fact, we're in this holiday season. I invite you to a gift you could give to your family, a family member. Yeah. Let's say, it may seem kind of like if you do one for yourself and you say, hey, baby, I just want to let you know that you off the hook for my funeral.
Right.
That might be, but you could do that. Say, baby, you're off the hook. Plus, I got you that other thing you want.
True. But at the same time, too, especially an older person, you don't kind of want to give them, be like, look, here you go, you covered.
You covered.
But it's like, what I'm saying? Like, I ain't pushing you.
but you
like,
No
covered. Something right, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I want to get into it or not, you know what I'm saying? But I still agree with doing that, you know what I'm saying, period. But
and you can just do it and not saying it. It could just be like the gift that you know yourself. Do all the things. Buy the video games and all the stuff that everybody wants, but then get that.
Gotcha.
Maybe that's a gift to yourself, maybe.
True.
That it has a benefit to others, right? But maybe that could be your gift to yourself. $25, $30.
That's it.
I love this stuff, man. I thank Ronald. I am just so thankful for you to allow this kind of conversation to happen on your platform.
Absolutely.
You are a credit to our community. You're a credit to our alma mater.
Shout out Raiders.
Shout out to the Raiders. I mean, I just appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate that, brother, man. I appreciate you having us. We appreciate you coming. And is there anything else you want to tell us about what you do? You the guru, man. Give us some financial education.
Well, just so y'all know, guru just means teacher. That's really what it means. So it doesn't mean perfection. It just means a teacher. So I will embrace that.
That's right.
I grew up in a family of teachers.
Right.
Okay? So yeah. So because of this very episode, the next 3 weeks, I'll be doing webinars on the gift of life insurance.
That's dope.
The gift of life insurance. Yeah. And I think it's fitting as
Absolutely.
we're approaching the commercial birthday
Yeah.
of one of, if not the greatest gift to humanity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
That's what's
just so next 3 weeks, we'll shoot out a link. You can find me on any all social media platforms as Tony Guy, and I look just like this. You may see financial educator on the side of it, but I'll have this the webinar links just kind of blasting out.
Yeah, we'll do that too. We'll tag it too.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. We'll just have a conversation and infuse the principles of the season, because the thing about having life and life more abundantly
I hear you.
in actual life requires money.
True.
I mean, I'm just saying. And there is a scripture, right, that says, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Now, before any of you start throwing the oil at me and say we got to pray for that brother, I'm not saying that all the spiritual benefits and all of the spiritual blessings of that is not. It's just that in this life, in this material, in this life, right? We know life is not just this.
Right.
We're spiritual.
Right.
So, but we have a body.
Right.
And our body requires sustenance.
Right.
It requires protection.
Right.
And the sustenance, food, the clothing, and the shelter. All. Well, maybe that's what the scripture is talking about. Money answers all things. Because all those things require money. I mean, they just do. Don't be mad at me for saying it. Is that right?
That's it.
We're in this building.
That's it.
I mean, people paying rent. I mean, it's just what it is.
That's it.
You know.
So, man, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir, man. So this has been SoulGood Talking. Again, I'm Ronald Parker. This has been Tony Guy, and we signing off.
We all die slowly.